All right, welcome back to Fox 24 Sports Talk MMA, our world famous In the Cage segment, which you can only see here on this show. Of course, I'm Charles Smith, and I'm rejoined by Brad Barnes and our guest here, Blessed Matai. Guys, what are we going to learn in today's instruction?
Today what we're basically going to cover real quick is, we've talked about it several times, about learning how to fight off angles. And what I'm going to do is, more than anything, give people a concept to understand what we talk about. We talk about fighting in the pocket and outside the pocket. And the reason we're using him is because he's so tall, it will really better illustrate why that's such an important detail.
All right, guys, I'm going to let Brad and Blessed do their thing.
Okay, so as a fighter that I'm only 5'10", like unless I'm wearing my heels, maybe a little bit taller, fighting at somebody like Blessed, obviously there's a height issue. So if you can see, when he puts his arm just straight out, and this is off his jab hand, he's already touching me. I can barely touch his shoulder. So I have to have better control of the distance if I'm going to be effective. A couple ways to do that is just by feigning the hands to be sure to keep his hands active for blocking. Another way to do that is by feigning up and down with our takedowns. So that gives him something to keep him honest and not overextend punches. One thing I like to do is being all the way in or all the way out. So to illustrate this better is if we start to fight, right now I'm in the pocket. So he puts his hands out on my shoulders, my hands are on his shoulders, he goes to touch my shoulders. This right here is the pocket. We're in a position where both of us can grab a hold of each other, punch, kick, knee, everything. But when I'm in this position out here, now I'm right outside the pocket. So I want to control outside the pocket as best as possible. So what I want to do is work as if there's a big circle here that goes in 4 dimensions, all the way around and all the way up and down. So I want to be stepping to the outside here and putting myself in a position where once I get outside, I can throw my strikes, or I can go below that circle to here. So easiest way to do that is controlling the distance, is having long jab, going outside, and coming inside for a takedown. So a little bit of space with me and Blessed. We're here, so just fanning a little bit. I'm going to execute a long jab to get all the way inside. Don't stay in the pocket where I'm in danger. I'm going to go out a little bit off angle. As he turns to come find me, I throw an overhand. When I throw this overhand, I'm going, again, this 4-dimensional circle. I'm going below it. Instead of staying here where he can hit me, grabbing the leg, and now pulling myself back inside where I can get a takedown. So I know the concept's a little bit almost like we're trying to make too much out of it. But what it does is it gives you more of an idea that fighting is not just be here and be tough. I've got to fight in angles, outside of angles, in range, outside of range, and he's going to be dangerous anywhere in this circle. So I have to be all the way outside of that or all the way inside of it to be effective, and I can't hang out in space.
All right, guys, that's what's interesting here, that you can only learn on Fox 24 Sports Talk MMA in a combat sport. You know, I didn't realize there was as many angles, and, you know, takes into account a lot of things that most people, the casual fan out there, may not, you know, take into consideration.
Right.
And, of course, we want to always go ahead and remind people, Brad, that you don't want to try this at home. You want to go ahead and come in at Bostos BJJ and get professional instruction.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, don't go out to the Whataburger parking lot at 2 a.m. and test to see how tough you are, or fight in your uncle's backyard against a chain-link fence. It's just not smart. Come here, we can teach you, and you can help give yourself some longevity in your career or just in your pursuit of the sport. You don't want to go get injured for training stupid.
Well, we appreciate it, Blessed. We appreciate it, Brad. Rejoin us for a talking segment. We're going to talk a little bit about UFC and Bellator coming up, and we're going to be joined by Joel Hawkins coming up in our next segment. You're watching Fox 24 Sports Talk MMA.